Rise and grind. Welcome to the Wake and Take with me, Grindberg, Mike Lindberg. What is up, everybody? I'm stepping in for Jason, who is soaking up some well-deserved sun on this holiday. Jason, if you're listening, hope you're having a blast. We've got a lot in store for you today. First off, we're diving into the latest Jordan Addison roller coaster 2024 season, including some legal drama in California that's got everybody talking. Then we'll tackle Davante Adams' uncertain future in Las Vegas and what that means for fantasy football fans gearing up for this season. Plus, get ready for an inside look at NFL training camps. Find out when and where your favorite teams are getting ready to hit the gridiron. And wrap things up, we'll shine a spotlight on 3 running back groups that are set to shake up the NFL this year. Stick around because this episode is packed with the latest buzz, insights, and everything you need to know. So Jordan Addison's 2024 season is off to a rocky start. Even his Rolls Royce is hitting speed bumps with the law in California. He recently got arrested in California on suspicion of driving under the influence, bringing unwanted attention to himself and the Minnesota Vikings. The team has acknowledged the incident, hasn't shared further details yet. Reports from California Highway Patrol describe Addison as being found asleep in his white Rolls Royce, causing a traffic obstruction near Los Angeles International Airport. After a DUI investigation, he was arrested and later released, leaving his situation hanging with no clear resolution from his agent. This isn't the first time Addison faced legal issues. Last year, we know just before his rookie training camp, he was caught speeding at a jaw-dropping 140 miles per hour in a 55 zone in St. Paul, despite claiming an emergency involving his dog. He was fined and his license suspended for 6 months, highlighting a troubled pattern of behavior. Now, on the field, Addison had a promising debut NFL season with 911 yards, 10 touchdowns across all 17 games, expected to play a significant role alongside superstar Justin Jefferson. His potential was high. However, Kirk Cousins no longer quarterbacking and TJ Hawkinson sidelined. Addison's fantasy prospects for 2024 have significantly darkened. Now, while Addison showed potential last season, he did finish as the wide receiver 28 in rankings. Uncertainty surrounding Minnesota's quarterback situation make drafting him even more risky. Both Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy's development timelines are still unclear, complicating Addison's future role. Off-season concerns further cloud his outlook, raising doubts about his reliability, his commitment. As the Vikings navigate a challenging preseason marked by losses and changes, Addison's future remains uncertain. It casts doubts over what could have been a promising start to his NFL career. Let's shout out to everybody in the chat here. We got Harry Snowman once again joining me. Cheers to that. You were in the Player Profiler News Primetime show last night, so welcome back into the chat. Good morning, everybody joining me today. I'm filling in for Jason. Let's get back into the news here. Davante Adams, well, his situation in Las Vegas is a big question mark for fantasy managers. Adams visibly frustrated last season with the Raiders' quarterback issues and overall team performance. He faces uncertainty on a team that is going through some changes despite decent numbers. His dissatisfaction and ongoing stability in Las Vegas could affect his fantasy output. He's been rumored to be involved in the trade rumor news. The New York Jets, and he's being seen on the sidelines. There's a lot of happening hoopla there. Looking forward, the Raiders' decision not to draft a quarterback in 2024 suggests Adams might face another season of unstable quarterback play. This raises doubts about how committed the team is to Adams and the success of their overall competitiveness. I'm hearing rumors that quarterback situation in Las Vegas is up for grabs. We know that Aiden O'Connell right now, from what Coach AP has been saying, has got the lead hand in that race, but it's all speculative at this point. On the flip side, there's speculation about Adams potentially moving to other teams like the Jets, where star young wide receiver Garrett Wilson has shown interest in the team. Them meeting up, that'd be a good combination for Aaron Rodgers. While excitement about Adams joining the Jets highlights the appeal about Adams' veteran leadership and playmaking skills, which could rejuvenate his fantasy value in a more stable offensive environment. Fantasy managers plan for the season ahead. He does present risks, but potentially rewarding options. His talent track record suggests he can produce big numbers with the right quarterback and system. However, the uncertainty in Las Vegas and the possibility of a mid-season trade or preseason trade, quarterback changes could swing Adams' fantasy value significantly. I'd be keeping a close eye on that situation during training camp. It'll be crucial for fantasy managers assessing, his potential impact for 2024. Now, we have a really big, important piece of information that got released yesterday on our website. There was a huge input from a lot of content creators. Theo Grimminger, shout out to him. He put this all together, and the draft kit has now been released, and we're going to get some information about that right now on our draft kit promo.
Hey, it's the Podfather of great news. The draft kit is live. It is world famous. Why? Because it is the best resource for winning fantasy football championships that exists. There are rankings and cheat sheets for every format you can imagine. We have projections both at the team level and the player level. And wherever you are, you can click on a player, open them up, and see in-depth written analysis about what to expect in fantasy football from that player this year. And then you can click on the team and you can get even more in-depth analysis, all the drivers of fantasy production, both in a positive and negative direction for that team, including a signature trend. And the graphics are incredible. So these team insights, they give you the team level projections, the vacated targets, the vacated ARs. And we added a bunch of features. Individual cheat sheets for Theo and Billy and Dario. So you could take your favorite analyst and download their personal draft cheat sheet. And then in the commissioners section, Memphis Young lays out everything you need to know to manage a league. The best minds in the industry contributing analysis. It's certainly not the most inexpensive draft kit on the market, but it is the best. Playerprofiler.com/draft kit. Playerprofiler.com/draft kit. Go get it.
Go get it. Cheers, Podfather. There was a bunch of creators that put a lot of hard work and effort into that draft kit. It is very user-friendly. If you don't have it, you got to get involved with that. It's a huge tool that is going to get you ahead of the game in your fantasy leagues. So, go get that draft kit. It's awesome. Now, teams across the NFL are starting to reveal their training camp plans, and now we have the scoop on when and where all 32 teams will be convening. Most squads are having their rookies report first, with veterans following suit a few days later. The NFL Back Together weekend is set for 2 weeks from now, with July 27th and 28th, making a league-wide kickoff event where fans are encouraged to attend their team's practices. We wait a few teams to finalize their camp dates, but what we know about each franchise headed into the 2024 season, each player and each team's roster is expected to attend training camp, including rookies and those recovering from injuries sustained last season. Rookies usually arrive before veterans to get settled into their new surroundings, with seasoned players joining shortly after. However, there's a few players who might skip training camp due to disputes, risking fines, unless they're under a franchise tag exemption like Saquon Barkley was last year for the New York Giants 2023 camp. Players who are injured or unable to practice are still required to report. What to expect from training camp? Well, training camp isn't just about the players' preparation. It's a prime opportunity for fans to get a sneak peek. Like myself, I'm going to be trying to get as much information gathered in, the training camp's first couple of days. How many players will be cut from the training camp? Well, at the beginning of camp, each team evaluates their rosters of 90, including draft picks, undrafted rookies. However, a 90-man squad must be trimmed down to 53 before the season starts. So training camp storylines to watch. The intrigue of the camps extend beyond the field with numerous captivating storylines that are getting our attention. The 2024 NFL season promised excitement, highly scrutinized rookie quarterback class featuring Heisman Trophy winners Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels make their debut with the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. So let's break that down a little bit here, folks. Headed into 2024, Caleb Williams is set to have a major role with the Chicago Bears as their franchise quarterback. We all know he was drafted first overall in 2024. He arrives in Chicago with sky-high expectations and a very strong support system to help him succeed. General Manager Ryan Poles will speak to media in 3 days to kick off training camp, and he's already expressed his excitement about Williams and his progression in the offseason workouts. Throughout the offseason, Williams has adapted to the Bears system, earning praise for his college intelligence and his adaptability. Williams has shown promise in this preseason. His activities, his true test will come in live game situations. Despite practice limitations such as non-contact rules, Williams has showcased his ability to improve and manage the pocket effectively. Supporting Williams is an offense established with playmakers DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, both top performers in fantasy football last season, and the addition of rookie standout Rome Dunze further enhances Williams' potential to lead a dynamic offense in 2024. In fantasy football circles, Williams is generating excitement as a potential breakout star with the talented supporting cast. He's tailored to his strengths. Williams has the opportunity to exceed expectations and establishes himself as a top-tier quarterback his rookie season. Fantasy managers and gamers are eyeing Williams for his dual threat abilities, the long-term dynasty potential alongside Rome Odunze. As training camp progresses, the regular season approaches, all eyes will be on Caleb Williams. His ability to lead effectively and capitalize on the talent around him will only impact fantasy football, but also shape his trajectory as a cornerstone to that Bears franchise. With optimism running high and pieces in place, Williams has the potential to join NFL's elite quarterbacks sooner rather than later. In a lot of circles is coming in here and putting him as a top-ranked dynasty quarterback. He's getting in the top 10 in a lot of ranges here, so we'll have to see what happens. Another guy that I'm really high on here headed into 2024, and that's Jayden Daniels, and he is to make a huge impact. I was on the show last week. I talked about Jayden Daniels and his potential as a rookie. I had him as one of my bold predictions as finishing as a top 5 quarterback in 2024 as early as his rookie year. And I don't see that being outside of the realm of possibilities. Drafted second overall, Daniels has impressed everyone with his strong work ethic. His supporting veteran staff like Marcus Mariota in the organization is showing respect to him within the team. Mariota isn't slated to start, but his experience adds depth in that Washington quarterback room and provides valuable mentorship to Daniels. Daniels recently visited Oregon, where he saw Mariota's Heisman Trophy, and I think that really got him going here to really stand out and become a big star in the NFL. Daniels, we all know, had a standout college career at LSU, both passing and rushing. 3,800 yards passing, 1,200 rushing on the ground, that 50 touchdown season, now getting, reacclimated with Cliff Kingsbury's system, known for that fast-paced, run-heavy options. Daniels enters an environment tailored to his strengths, supported by playmakers. Just like Caleb Williams, he's got some playmakers that he's going to be surrounded by. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. These are solid foundations for success, and don't discount Luke McCaffrey. I mentioned him too. I think he's going to be playing a big role his rookie season in 3 wide receiver sets, and I wouldn't be surprised if he surpasses Jahan Dotson on the depth chart by the end of the season. So considered a sleeper pick in fantasy drafts. Daniels offers great value for his draft position, appealing to fantasy managers looking to capitalize on his potential as a top 5 quarterback and contender for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Don't discount that claim here, folks. With training camp on the horizon and expectations rising, Jayden Daniels is set to not only lead Washington's offense, but make a splash in fantasy football. He's poised to deliver immediate impact and long-term value, making him a top choice for fantasy managers seeking a breakout star at the quarterback position. So if you're enjoying the show, don't miss out on more exclusive content. Subscribe to the Player Profiler YouTube channel at Player Profiler _news. That's our news desk channel. And also follow us on Twitter at the NFL Player Profiler _NFL, and visit our website at playerprofiler.com/news, and you'll get all the breaking news as it impacts on fantasy football. Stay ahead of the game with Player Profiler, and you're going to see all the good stuff happening on the news desk, and that's where you'll find me most of the time. So cheers to the news desk and Bradley Stalder leading us in that team. So as the NFL season continues to approach, the return of established quarterbacks like adds a compelling layer of intrigue. Each faces a unique challenge and new opportunity in their new chapters of their career. As we gear up for 2024, Kirk Cousins is stepping into a crucial role as the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, making a huge change after their struggles under former head coach Arthur Smith. With Raheem Morris now at the helm and key additions like Cousins in place, the Falcons are aiming to turn things around after 3 straight 7-10 seasons. Cousins brings a reputation of steady production and veteran leadership to Atlanta. His arrival alongside Michael Penix Jr., drafted 8th overall, has brought in a sense of promise to the Falcons quarterback situation. This move not only addresses the long-standing quarterback issues, but also lays a foundation of stability and offensive growth. Atlanta didn't hesitate to invest in Cousins, handing him a hefty 4-year, $180 million deal, guaranteed $100 million. This shows their commitment to securing an experienced quarterback that can elevate the team. Despite concerns about Cousins at age 36 and recent injuries, his strong track record in the NFL and dedication to offseason training suggests he's ready to lead the Falcons offense effectively. That remains to be said. Coming off those injuries is never easy, and he's coming into a new situation with a new offense. It's going to be, very good, I think, for the pass catchers and guys like Bijan Robinson, and fantasy football gamers are excited about the potential of Kirk Cousins' impact in 2024. He's been a consistent performer, usually ranking as a solid QB1 or QB2 in fantasy leagues, with an average draft position around QB18 in all formats like the FFPC. Cousins looks like a valuable pick, especially in leagues that value quarterbacks highly. As we head into training camp, Cousins is fully engaged in team activities, indicating he's gearing up for a season ahead. While his Achilles injury from last season is something really to monitor, early reports have been positive, suggesting he should be good to go by week 1. Under Morris's guidance and talented players like Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and now Darnell Mooney around him, Cousins has the tools to thrive. The Falcons' offensive approach, built on Morris's coaching style and revamped roster, sets the stage for Cousins to exceed expectations and lead Atlanta to their first winning season since 2017. As we approach kickoff in the 2024 season, all eyes will be on Kirk Cousins. Whether he can translate his on-field success into fantasy football points remains to be seen, but his role as Atlanta's quarterback will undoubtedly shake and shape both teams' performance on and off the field in fantasy football leagues this year. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he faces a crucial chapter himself with the New York Jets. He is aiming to bounce back from a rough start with his time with the team. He arrived amidst high hopes in 2023. We all know he suffered that torn Achilles on just the fourth snap. It raises doubts about his comeback at the age of 40. Rodgers, a future Hall of Famer, confronts significant challenges recovering from serious injury. His 2022 season with the Green Bay Packers, it saw a decline in numbers, throwing only 3,700 yards, 24 touchdowns. That was his lowest in years. With concerns about his age and recovery, fantasy football gamers are understandably cautious about his potential in 2024. Adding to this uncertainty is the Jets' offensive strategy under offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, known for his slower pace play, coupled with a strong defense. This suggests fewer scoring games that usually benefit fantasy quarterbacks. Despite these obstacles, Rodgers remains optimistic about his return. He's undergone rigorous offseason rehab, aiming to defy expectations for a player of his age. The Jets receivers, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and rookie Malachi Corley offer solid targets, though not the superstar caliber Rodgers had before, like the Davante Adams and the Jordy Nelsons of the past. Rodgers made headlines skipping Jets mandatory minicamp due 2024 fantasy drafts, Rodgers cautiously ranked around QB 20 due to injury recovery, age, and team dynamics. He might hold value in best ball leagues as a backup quarterback in superflex formats, but he's unlikely to return his top-tier QB1 status of the past. His 20th NFL season, all eyes are on Rodgers to lead the Jets towards playoff contention, a feat that is not seen since 2010. His experience and leadership are invaluable. Even with uncertainties in fantasy football, managers should approach Rodgers cautiously while acknowledging his potential to surprise if he can regain some of his former glory in New York. Now, just going to take some water here. Headed into 2024 NFL season, contract negotiations are also a storyline, adding a layer of drama for stars like CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Aiyuk. We've heard lots about Brandon Aiyuk already in this show, and we're going to briefly touch base on him, but we'll get into CeeDee Lamb a little bit more in depth. Headed into 2024, we know CeeDee Lamb's future with the Dallas Cowboys is up in the air due to unresolved contract talks. Lamb, a standout wide receiver and Pro Bowl playmaker, is expected to miss the start of training camp on July 25th as he pushes for a new long-term deal, according to the Dallas Morning News. Of course, this is important news. I think CeeDee Lamb deserves that deal. He had a monster 2023 where he had a career year, 135 receptions, almost 1,800 yards, and 12 touchdowns, cementing his role in the Cowboys offense. He is set to earn nearly $18 million in 2024 under his rookie deal's fifth-year option. But with free agency looming next year, Lamb wants a bigger contract, potentially around $30 million, like the other top receivers in the league here. Despite Lamb's importance, Dallas hasn't added any new offensive talent, relying heavily on him. Dak Prescott's performance will be tied to Lamb's success. Prescott also tries to prove himself in a crucial season for both players. Lamb was the top wide receiver in 2023 with 335 half PPR points in his big numbers, especially in the red zone, make him a fantasy star, though his stats might dip in 2024 because Dallas struggles in the red zone. As training camp nears, Lamb's contract situation will be a big deal. We'll see if it will sort out before the season or if it hangs over them, affecting Dallas's offense in 2024. And it's not like, they've added anything like I mentioned earlier. So Lamb is poised for another monster year here. And if they continue like they were in the latter half of 2023, I wouldn't be surprised if CeeDee Lamb pushed the 2,000-yard mark in this season, just based off of volume alone. Now we're going to get back and head into a little bit of news. There is still talk about Brandon Aiyuk's future with the 49ers. It's up in the air due to those ongoing contract talks and trade rumors. We talked about it last week, Jason and I, on the show. There was some rumors about him with the Commanders. He got some footage of their training camp, of their practice video. Aiyuk, 26, coming off a stellar season with 75 catches and 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns, showcasing his value on the field. His performance has made him a coveted asset, evident of his high trade value and fantasy football rankings. I know the Podfather was going off on Brandon Aiyuk the other day, and the extreme value you're going to get him at. And I think that's a great cause for that. He's getting drafted at his complete ceiling right now, and his situation is very, very murky. So as we move closer to training camp, all eyes are going to be still on that situation. There's a lot of variables in that San Francisco 49er offense. And, the first domino that could fall and seeing how their offense is going to lay out is the Brandon Aiyuk domino. The storyline continues to intrigue us. And, there's going to be an upcoming season here where clarity needs to happen. We know that Deebo Samuel's contract is up at the end of this year as well. So we're going to have to see what goes on there as we gear up for the NFL season. The excitement around these training camps are tangible. Rookies, veterans alike coming together, showcasing their athleticism and determination from exciting debuts, like I mentioned, Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels. I'm looking at seeing Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, lots happening, and the preseason is continuing to, shape. Now, we're all headed into those drafts, and the world famous draft kit has been transformed fantasy football draft prep by blending the ease of a magazine into a technically know-how on player profile. It stands out. It's deep. It's focused. It has team insights, player analysis, and cheat sheets. It dives into predictive data for all 32 teams. It covers strengths of schedule, game strategies, pace, scoring trends, and key metrics, player analysis. It features expert insights. This section offers detailed written previews and video breakdowns. Overall, the world-famous draft kit sets a new benchmark for prioritizing quality insights and practical tools, empowering fantasy gamers to make smart draft decisions to dominate their leagues. So please go out and get it. It's a great piece if you want to dominate your league in 2024. Now we're going to get into a breakdown, and several running back situations are poised to impact draft strategies and rosters decisions, from potential breakout stars to established veterans in new roles. These running back rooms offer a spectrum of fantasy opportunities. So let's delve deep into 3 intriguing backfield scenarios that could shape the upcoming fantasy landscape. Now, we're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals running back room. We're going to talk about the LA Chargers running back room. And we're also going to talk about the Denver Broncos, which is, 3 very ambiguous running back rooms that have a lot of intrigue for fantasy gamers. And each of these teams present a unique storyline and fantasy prospects that warrant close attention as the season approaches. From established roles to these running backs are set to make waves. And let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals and Zach Moss. He is poised to have a significant role this upcoming fantasy season, and here is why. His workload, his efficiency. In games where Jonathan Taylor was sidelined last year with the Colts, Moss showcased his potential as a workhorse back. He averaged 20 carries per game with 3.2 targets per game with his substantial playing time. He also ranked highly in efficiency metrics, demonstrating strong performances in rush yards over expected per attempt. His fit with the Bengals. Moving to Cincinnati, Moss fits well systematically as he has the opportunity to thrive in an offensive system that's going to score a lot of points. This transition could elevate fantasy production beyond his current ADP of RB 29. His expected role. He's anticipate to split roughly 60-40 with Chase Brown. However, head coach Zach Taylor has a history of favoring a bell cow approach, similar to how he managed Joe Mixon's workload even when Mixon faced injuries. Pass game concerns. Brown's deficiency in pass protection could limit his playing time, especially in a pass-heavy offense where protection is crucial. Moss's ability to handle all aspects of the game could enhance his value. His fantasy upside with the potential workload, that Joe Mixon left behind. Moss offers a substantial upside in fantasy drafts. If Moss indeed receives a significant share of the Bengals backfield touches, he could outperform his ADP and expectations. His 2023 performance, he demonstrated his capability as a starter late in the year, notably excelling in Taylor's absence with strong rushing and receiving stats. This experience suggests he's ready for a larger role in Cincinnati. Draft consideration, he is currently ranked as the RB 29 in fantasy drafts. Moss presents a compelling option for fantasy gamers looking for a reliable early down back with potential to score a lot of touchdowns in a high-powered offense. So his combination of talent, opportunity, and favorable system, I think his potential for workload has a standout candidate for 2024 drafts. Now, Chase Brown, he's also drawing attention as a top-tier handcuff in fantasy football. And what we need to know about him, despite limited action last season, Brown showed efficiency with each touch. He ranked well within yards after contact, missed tackles forced per attempt among comparable running backs. He had a late season breakout. Brown's involvement increased notably starting in week 13 of his rookie season. Over the last 6 games, he displayed big playability in both receiving and rushing. His 2024 role with Mixon gone, there's a lot of vacated touches there. His expanded role could see more touches for him, while Zach Moss will probably backfield mentioned. Brown should see more opportunities as a pass catcher. Potential, Brown is viewed as a flex option in PPR leagues, offering standalone value due to his involvement and could provide a alert here, folks. Its own standalone value. Brown, initial role behind Moss, limits his impact immediately, but as a and his efficiency metrics hint at upside. Consider drafting him as a handcuff with potential, especially in PPR leagues. I see a lot of potential there. Both these guys are draftable at their ADPs. We got some, chat here, and I'd like to see Javonte get traded to Cincinnati or anywhere that would matter for him. We're going to be talking about Javonte Williams a little bit further on in the show here when we break down the Broncos backfield, but it's not looking good for him right now, in my opinion, in the Denver Broncos offense. All right, let's get into them now. Well, I'm going to skip the Chargers. We'll go into the Broncos and then, rally back to the Chargers because, there's a lot of headlines in fantasy football right now, and the Denver Broncos running back situation where Javonte Williams and don't underestimate me are set to headline storyline. Williams is known for his physicality and football smarts. He enters a critical phase with the Broncos as he nears the end of his contract, as he continues to bounce back from career-threatening knee injury. Despite a solid comeback last season, Williams isn't quite regained his pre-injury form, prompting the Broncos to draft Audric Estime in the 5th round for insurance. Estime arrives in Denver fresh from an impressive stint at Notre Dame where he racked up 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. His college stats underscore his versatility and readiness for the NFL, making him an appealing prospect for fantasy gamers seeking a sleeper pick. Drafted specifically to bolster the Broncos running back depth, Estime's arrival sets the stage for a compelling competition with Williams during training camp. Coach Sean Payton's endorsement of Estime's competing for significant early down snaps adds further intrigue to the Denver Broncos backfield. The brewing competition between Williams and Estime underscores the Broncos' commitment to fostering a competitive environment. While Williams offers reliability based on his track record, Estime presents an unpredictable element with considerable upside, folks. His physical playing style and knack for thriving in game situations make him an enticing late-round target in fantasy drafts, particularly in leagues that value depth and breakout potential. Estimate rapid ascent from a fifth-round pick to a potential starter amplifies Denver's strategy to cultivate a depth and foster internal competition. This situation is looking pretty up in the air right now in Denver. And another guy that I got my eye on here, it's going to be a complementary role to whomever takes that early down role in Denver. I think it's going to be a tough competition between Javonte and Audric. And then for those third down snaps, let's talk about Jaleel McLaughlin as another sleeper in 2024. He's backed by strong stats and a growing role with the Broncos, despite being drafted outside the top 45 right now. McLaughlin made an impact early last year in his rookie season. He showed impressive efficiency, ranking 6th in missed tackles forced per touch, and a sharp contrast to how Javonte Williams struggled. So once again, we're going back to Williams struggling. McLaughlin has emerged as a key contender in the Broncos backfield. He's supported by those efficiency stats among running backs with at least 50 rushing attempts or 20 targets. He ranked highly in explosive run rate at 14th, missed tackles forced per attempt at 5th, and yards after contact per attempt at 4th. Despite starting at RB3 last season, McLaughlin's knack for playmaking and involvement in the Denver Broncos passing game suggests he could see more opportunity this season. And while questions remain and linger about Williams and his recovery and Audric Estime's situation in the backfield, I think one thing is certain: McLaughlin's trajectory points to increased fantasy relevance. His ability to make the most of his touches and potential for a larger role is a smart late round pick in fantasy football, in my opinion here. And Blake Watson, another guy that is, an undrafted guy that the Denver Broncos picked up here. He joins them with he's got a good skill set, very similar to what Jaleel McLaughlin brings to the table. He's going to have a hard time cracking the lineup, backing Jaleel, but you're going to have to wait and see what happens in that situation. Now, let's get into a running back room that also has a lot of new faces in it. Gus Edwards is set to make an impact on the Chargers under new offensive coordinator Greg Roman, who has excelled in the past. Where you need to know about Gus Edwards here: opportunity. He joins the Chargers with a clear path to significant playing time. His main competition for touches include injury recovery J.K. Dobbins and late-round rookie Kamani Vidal, giving Edwards the prime opportunity to lead that backfield. Touchdown potential. Edwards has shown his ability to find the end zone with 13 touchdowns last season, making him a reliable option for scoring opportunities. He excelled in a low-volume, high-efficiency runner under Roman's system in the past. The yardage opportunities. I think this is good for Gus Edwards. This could translate into another season of outperforming ADP and getting a lot of touchdowns in that touchdown total. Fantasy outlook: currently being drafted as the RB43. Edwards presents value as a flex option with potential for higher returns, especially in scoring formats where his knack for multiple rushing touchdowns in games can be very advantageous. Concerns: well, he is efficient. His role may be capped by his historical lack of involvement in the passing game. rely solely on rushing production to maintain fantasy relevance. Ranked at, RB 36 right at the moment, Edwards is a particularly for managers seeking reliable depth at that running back position. His efficiency and potential for touchdowns make him a solid option as a flex or RB2 in favorable matchups. Gus Edwards' reunion with Greg Roman and his anticipated role in the Chargers offense positions him a valuable fantasy asset in 2024. His ability to capitalize on goal line opportunity and historical efficiency make him a compelling pick, especially considering his draft position. I'm going to touch base here on Kamani Vidal because I really like his situation. I think he's got an opportunity to see some buzz early in the season. He's a rookie generating, and here's why. And he's a target of mine in a lot of drafts. He enters the ideal scenario with the Chargers where he has a clear opportunity to make an impact. I'm not saying he's going to go out and get a job right away, but he's got an opportunity to make competing against Gus Edwards and prone J.K. Dobbins. So that great college pedigree, his senior year at Troy, he amassed impressive stats, almost 1,700 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns, along with 18 receptions for 201 yards in the air. His ability to handle a heavy workload and contribute in both rushing and receiving bodes well for his transition to the NFL. Despite being a 6th-round pick, Vidal's talent and the Chargers' offensive strategy under Greg Roman suggest he could quickly become a flex play with potential to evolve into an RB2 as the season progresses. Comparing in attributes, known for his agility, vision, and contact balance and pass blocking prowess, Vidal draws comparisons to successful backs like Isaiah Pacheco. His skill set and the Chargers' commitment to a physical, run-heavy game could lead to significant fantasy production. Fantasy gamers are eyeing Vidal as an early 3rd round in rookie drafts, reflecting his confidence in the ability to compete for and potentially securing a starting role. So his combination of college production, skill set, and favorable situation with the Chargers make him a compelling fantasy prospect. He's poised to exceed expectations given his late round status and could provide immediate fantasy upside and value for more when he settles into that Chargers offense even more. J.K. Dobbins, he's still a variable there. He has the opportunity to crack that lineup. You're going to have to wait and see about him. I'm not very high on him. I don't foresee him, carving out a huge role in that offense behind Gus Edwards. I think he's going to be a stiff competition between him and Vidal. And I think, coming off those 2 knee injuries, I think Vidal will surpass J.K. Dobbins. So that's a wrap for today's Wake and Take. We dug deep into the latest on Jordan Addison's eventful 2024 preseason, Davante Adams' uncertain future with the Raiders, an inside look on NFL training camps, plus we spotlighted 3 running back groups poised to make waves this year. Thanks for joining me on the Wake and Take as I filled in for Jason. Jason, hope you're enjoying your well-deserved holiday. As we wrap up, remember to check out the world-famous Draft Kit, your ultimate companion for fantasy football draft success. With its comprehensive team insights, detailed player analysis, and innovative cheat sheets, it's a game changer in the world of fantasy sports. Join Seth tomorrow on the Wake and Take. And until next time, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep grinding, NFL fans. We'll see you next time.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.